Hello everybody, it's me, Total Cobra Gaming. Obviously, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight was awful. I don't know what I was expecting. To be fair, it was what I was expecting. Because I remember I was saying, it is Mike Tyson. But he is 58 years old, and as you guys seen, at that age, like if you've seen Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones, right? I think that fight happened, 3 years ago? And to be fair, they look great in their late 50s or whatever it is. But you can already obviously tell, like Jake Paul, who isn't that great of a boxer, but he still hits hard. He has decent boxing, and he's technically a professional now. The biggest thing I was worried about is like, are knockouts allowed? We never really knew. Probably was. And maybe Jake Paul held back, you know, because at the end of the day, Jake Paul did have some opportunities there where I think he could have easily just tried to KO Mike. Didn't do it though. Mike Tyson looked good for the first round, to be fair, but if it wasn't for Jake Paul constantly clinching him, I think it would have been a lot more of a competitive first round. Although we saw the typical kind of Jake Paul kind of fight, I guess, where he just kind of points fights, you know, wins by points, but it never looked like it was a serious fight. And I'm happy about that, because a lot of people were saying, oh, Mike Tyson's gonna sleep Jake and stuff like that. I'm thinking, man, I don't know about that. I know it's Mike Tyson, but it's 58-year-old Mike Tyson. I would believe he's getting closer to 60. And Jake Paul is like 28. He's getting close to 30, which is almost like your prime, I would think, right? And Jake Paul's been boxing for what, 10 years? So he has decent boxing skills at that point. Plus he's like a big guy, so yeah, I mean, the fight kind of went as I expected. Mike Tyson maybe showing up good for like the first 2 rounds, and then Jake would just take over eventually, you know. But it was just kind of a win-win for both of them. They both get a lot of money, a huge spotlight on both of them. Everybody's talking about them. Even if the fight is bad, you know, they always say, whatever you post a song or put a fight out or whatever it is, or a video out, whatever it is, as long as you get some kind of reaction, whether it's good or bad, it's good. You know, it's kind of that one way of saying bad publicity is good publicity, in a way. Technically, the same thing here. People can say it's bad and everything, but at the end of the day, people more over the world, like more people are knowing who Jake Paul is, you know. And a lot of people already know Mike Tyson, but I'm just saying Jake Paul is like building his brand and basically becoming a lot bigger of a name. So it worked out for him, and Mike Tyson, I'm pretty sure he just did it for the money. So at the end of the day, it worked out for both of them. I think everybody kind of knew this fight wasn't a serious fight to begin with. When it first got announced, it's like, what in the world? I mean, I was curious about how the fight would go, you know? I was curious, but the fight kind of went exactly what I thought. It was kind of like a sparring match where they were just kind of trying to entertain, but not trying to KO each other. Kind of like just points and points, you know? Point punches, basically, is what I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, it was terrible. It was a terrible fight, I mean, to be fair. But I kind of knew it was going to go that way. After all, I mean, you're having a guy that's like 28 fighting a 58-year-old. Kind of crazy. Don't know who allowed that, by the way. There must have been something under a contract. Like, you can't knock each other out or something like that, because no way you're allowed to knock out a 58-year-old in front of everybody. Even if he did, though. Even if Jake Paul did, the amount of heat he would have, the amount of like heat, you know, the bad guy, because at the end of the day, he does want to be like the ultimate bad guy, you know? Because I believe if you're like a fighter, it's probably best to be like hated. I think. If you want to bring in money, Well, yeah, I mean, it is interesting. At least that fight ended the best way it could, with just, I guess, Mike Tyson not having any serious injury at all. I don't know if he had any injuries, but those little, doesn't look like anything was really done terribly. But yeah, man, I mean, I can kind of understand it as a business standpoint of why, because if you have that kind of opportunity to fight Mike Tyson, why not take it? At the end of the day, it's not like you have to knock out Mike Tyson. You just have to get in the ring with him and just try not to get knocked out. Because, like I said, I don't know what was in the contract or whatever, but that would make sense, And it was entertainment at the end of the day. It's for entertainment. It's not a serious fight, I don't believe. It would have been crazy, though. I mean, if Mike Tyson would have landed, and because it looks like he still hits hard. So, if he would have landed on Jake Paul and KO'd him, that would have been crazy. Craziest thing. And, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. But the fight went as expected, as we all know. And it was just for the money, basically. With that being said, I do wonder where Jake Paul fights from here. Because obviously, I'm looking forward to the Tommy Fury versus Darren Till fight. I don't really watch influencer boxing so much. I just watch Jake Paul fights. But I am actually wondering how the Darren Till versus Tommy Fury fight. I'm secretly voting for Darren Till. Like, I want him to win. Because I think he's just entertaining. Personality-wise. I mean, fighting-wise, he's kind of, if you watch MMA, you kind of know of him. Kind of a somewhat boring fighter. A little bit. Although, he is like a technical kind of striker. So maybe in boxing he would do well and shock the world and KO Tommy Fury. And then Jake Paul versus Darren Till. That would be great. That would be great to watch. I would love to watch that. Although, if not, and Tommy Fury wins, I guess you got the rematch with Jake Paul, right? I mean, that's the only way Jake Paul has to go. Who else is he gonna fight? Another? I mean, maybe Conor McGregor, but I don't even think Conor McGregor is gonna fight. To be honest with you. But yeah, that's it. That's something, And yeah, so the fight was terrible, beginning to end. I did not enjoy it. Didn't find it interesting. Never really thought it was gonna be interesting just from the announcement. Like, it just didn't make any sense, Although it is Jake Paul, so nothing really makes sense with the matchmaking. But at the end of the day, he did win. He did get a lot more hate, which is good, because that brings in money. The more hate you get, or support, whatever it is, works out for you. And also, it puts like a bigger spotlight on Jake Paul. And then the next person that fights him are going to want to, the haters, the people that hate Jake Paul, because in my opinion, I don't dislike Jake Paul. I really don't. I dislike Logan, because it's Logan. I mean, that's all I can really say. But Jake Paul seems like a cool guy at the end of the day. I don't have any issue with him. He seems like a normal guy. Although, I do want to see him try to fight Tommy Fury, get the win against Tommy Fury, and then all of a sudden, Jake Paul, the most hated person again. And that would be fun, because at the end of the day, people, I like having someone like Jake Paul around, in boxing. I just love seeing how much hate he gets, how much people dislike him and stuff. And part of me cheers for the guy, seeing him get so much hate. So it's a weird thing. And a lot of people assume that I don't like him. I don't mind him. In a way, I kind of cheer for him. Because a lot of people do want to see him fall and stuff. And that's like kind of what makes me kind of a Jake Paul fan in a weird way. If that makes sense. I don't think you guys know what I'm talking about, but yeah, basically like when you see someone or so many people try to watch one person fail, it makes you want to cheer for that one person, you know. Except in the Mike Tyson fight, because Mike Tyson was 58, so that's the only time I was cheering for like the opponent of Jake Paul. But besides that, I mean, I always try to go for the person that's like almost hated on by everybody for just making like a huge event, like whatever. But this event was awful. I don't think Jake Paul should ever fight another 58-year-old man, because, you know, that's very dangerous. That could have ended really badly. Even if Jake Paul wasn't trying to KO him, I mean, one of those punches just land, and, you know, you never know how it could go. So, luckily, Mike Tyson's good. I mean, at the end of the day, he is Mike Tyson, so that's why. But yeah, terrible fight, terrible event, but they both win at the end of the day because they both get the money from all the people that tuned in to watch that. As expected. All right, goodbye, guys.